Welcome back to my channel, everyone. It's Krista here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You can always check out your Moon and Rising sign readings in addition to your Sun sign reading for added clarity for the week, or in case your Sun sign reading isn't resonating with you for any reason. This is for the week of October 10th through the 17th. We'll be keeping a focus on healing messages this week. So we'll be using the Healing with the Angels Oracle for our main spread today, and then as always drawing message cards from the other decks, this week being the Wisdom of the Oracle and the Medicine cards. So this is a general reading for your sign. Whatever is most prominent in your life this week, Gemini, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and hopefully you find them helpful in healing. So what does Gemini need to know about healing this week? All right, so these just flew out of the deck for you, as you saw. And just to get a little snapshot of what all of the cards are saying together here is that there is a definite opportunity for moving past something that has been holding you down, something that's weighty or heavy, something that you would really like to see the solution to with regard to healing, whether that's physical or psychological or relational, or if that's emotional, whatever is most prominent and that you're applying this to this week, there is a solution. And the primary objective toward achieving this could be manifest to you by doing two different but very important, equally important things. And one is to make it important enough to heal. Okay, sometimes we don't want to look at something strongly because it's painful, right? This is human nature. It's difficult to look at things that are painful or that we don't want to face, especially if it means we have to look at ourselves or our place in it. So it looks like facing something head on could be very, very important here with regard to healing, having faith that you can do it, okay? Trusting in yourself that you can do it, trusting in the process, even if it's difficult or painful. It will lead to something that's temporary, right? It will lead to something that's transformative and very, very healing. And then a sense of just having the best intentions, knowing exactly what you want that's good for everybody, not wanting to take from anyone else or, teach someone a lesson, so to speak. If that's at all in your repertoire here with regard to a healing theme, you're going to want to put that to rest, okay? Because that's antithetical to the healing process. You want to be able to trust and move ahead with the best intentions, okay? Through a sense of knowing exactly what it is that the problem is, right? Identifying what it is, and then understanding what needs to occur in order to solve it. So, and you can do it. This is something that is possible for you. It just could mean that there could be some temporary upset in the process. And again, Gemini, this is perfectly natural in facing things that we put away or put aside or have been unable for any reason to actually, sit down and look at and face and solve either, on your own or with someone else here, and really keeping a sense of humor about the process. Now, you don't want to make fun of what needs to be solved necessarily, but really trying to stay light, keeping the humor, remembering that this is a stage toward healing is really important here as well. So that's a general idea of what's going on with your sign this week. Just a real opportunity for beautiful changes and reconciliations this week is what I'm seeing for you. And to look at these specifically one by one, we have playfulness in your central position. Of course, this represents you this week. This is where you're going to want to use your sense of fun and playfulness and, childlike affection even toward the healing process and not toward the matter that needs to be healing, right? We don't want to brush off and say, that's not important, or that doesn't mean anything to me, or somehow belittled it through the comedy process, you know, you maybe want to belittle some of the not belittle, that sounds negative, and we don't want to be negative about this, but definitely want to pay attention to treating the matter as though it's serious, which is appropriate, but not taking yourself seriously in the process. You don't have to be disrespectful to yourself, but you can maybe lighten up about the process, okay? And maybe give yourself a whole lot more credit that you can do this. Yes, it could be difficult for you. Yes, something is evolving, whether or not you're participating in the solving of it. But what is evolving is going to create a life of its own here. And, what do you want the end result of the healing process to be? And this is suggesting that the playfulness extend into the process and not just about, the person or the concept that you might have been brushing off for quite some time here. Here in the influence position is manifestation. And of course, with intention being your probable outcome, I am using this against manifestation right now. We're looking at something taking on, like I mentioned just a moment ago, taking on a life of its own. Something really is being created here, whether you're behind it or not. But the problem that could arise by not being a participant in the problem solving here, or the healing process, as it were, is that it's coming to completion regardless of your participation. And if you want a specific outcome, you're going to have to participate. You're going to have to be a part of this healing process because someone is willing to move past, right? Someone else is willing to do the work here. You don't want, I don't think you don't want there to be, an additional issue on top of the original issue here where, it could be claimed that you're not willing to participate in the healing process, right? So maybe have some faith in yourself that you can do this. Treat the process and the notion of healing, especially if it's relational and it's regarding another individual in your life, treating this as though it's important, okay? Is really essential to making sure that it works out to the highest good of everyone's best interest here. And you will get what you manifest, right? This is leading you into a sense of playfulness, this sense of manifestation. But again, you're going to want to apply this to the healing process and not just about I'm getting everything I want on a surface level. It might be a really good week, for example, Gemini, to go deep, okay? To get deep this week. And it could be uncomfortable and it's going to arouse emotions that you typically don't have to or don't want to have to, associate yourself with. So, and that could be the part that's leading to a level of discomfort here. But again, you have to trust yourself that you can do this and that you can walk through the fire, for example, and get out on the other side. And you could very well be changed because of it. I mean, this could be a situation that changes not only you, and not only the healing process will have occurred, but it could raise to a higher level of understanding. A brand new relationship could develop because of this. Maybe even a new faith or self-respect within you at the end of this, regardless of how it pans out for the group or the healing process. That you can grow, and this is an important endeavor for you to experience. With intention being your probable outcome, this is where we're looking, of course. Now we have two issues of judgment. So trust is highly associated with the judgment card in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. And here we have intention sort of looking like the justice card here. There could be Libran influences here, issues of scales of justice. Could strictly be a legal issue. If that's the case, that's probably what's going on. You're probably going to have to get deep regarding a legal issue. But if this is one that is about creating balances in relationship in general, being fair, being just, being someone that you can rely on, and having the other person be someone you can rely on is really important this week. And ought not to have been spoken. Okay, you shouldn't have to say, you can trust me. Like, words around this intention and manifestation probably aren't even as important if you're giving them that much importance. In fact, words could be getting in the way this week, okay? Because this is a week where actions are going to speak louder than words. What is your intention? It's palatable, right? People can feel it. And it's the difference between what you say and how you're behaving, okay? Or what you're saying and the tone in how it's said, or what you're saying in your body language. Is it matching? Is this congruent, etc.? And it's the time this week to, say what you mean what you say, and what is your final intention for the healing process here? They have to be congruent. Otherwise, someone, very possibly yourself, if this isn't relational, but if this is a relational issue, someone is just strictly going to call you on it, okay? And they shouldn't have to, because you're aware that this is happening and you're putting something off. So maybe it's just time to, get real and put your feet on the ground with this issue, with this healing concern here, and decide, is this something that I want to heal? And for yourself, okay? Just decide for yourself, not about the healing, not about the process, not about the other person or even the situation that needs healing. And just decide. And you need to be honest about that, because if you don't want to heal it, you have to make it known, right? Because people can see through this, or you're just wasting time. But if you do want to, you have to follow through. And here's where I'm seeing that this is very possible for you, and you should give yourself a whole lot more credit than you have been, because your general energy card here is trust. And here's where we're looking at judgment. We're here looking at the concerns of not only judging others, but judging yourself in the process. Whether you're aware of this or not, it could be subconscious, okay? It could be that and I'm not even saying a strict judgment either. You could be judging that you're too good for this. And again, like it's an unfair perception, because what are you too good for? A healing process, relations with other individuals, personal growth, right? So I'm going to suggest that if that's an ideology, that it's an incomplete one. The purpose of all of us, the soul interaction here is to grow and to learn and to heal, right? So the opportunity exists, but I feel strongly that the window around that opportunity, especially if it's relational, could be closing here. You need to trust in the process. You have to trust in yourself that you can do it. You've been talking yourself out of this for quite some time for several reasons. Again, I'm not judging your reasons here. I'm just saying that the window behind this opportunity could be closing, and that by trusting in yourself that you can get through this, and that it's important enough for you, that the relationship or the process or healing in general is important enough for you, it will ease the healing process itself. It will lend you to believe now, rightfully, that you can get through this, that there's a solution for everything, and it is just your belief and your intention here that will play the largest part in the success of the outcomes. And I've been seeing this now for several weeks here with your sign, Gemini, in a general sense. Just that there's a level of communication that seems to be meeting with either someone who's unavailable, or you've been unavailable yourself, or just uninterested, or keeping busy, or even, last month there was a level of, maybe even blame. So I think that even if it was yourself, I think that, blame of yourself, that time is over, okay? Like those, that process is over. We can't keep blaming, we can't keep shaming. We have to say to ourselves, are we willing to fix this? Or are we saying this isn't important enough to fix or heal, and I'm simply going to walk away? And And even if you made that move right now, you'd have to trust that you could tolerate that outcome as well. So if that's the case and you're willing to walk away, maybe just ask why you'd be willing to walk away from something that deserves healing. When you trust that you could, you can be just fine after that. Have the same faith in the process, and that you can be just fine after the process, the healing process as well. Here we're sort of doubling up, tripling up, if you will, here with the issues of justice, okay? The scales of justice. We literally have Libran influence here. We have wisdom involved, maybe feeling that you're above something, maybe a little bit of haughtiness here that you're going to want to temper because this is a healing because the concern is around healing, okay? You don't want to be above something or feel that you're past something necessarily. Something needs solving, but you could be standing in your own way, essentially. And here with the pearl and the fortune cookie reading nope on the scales, I just see that something isn't as important to you as it is to someone else with regard to a healing process here. And again, you could find here that the window has been closed. So it's a really good week to just even begin getting out of your own way. It could be talking to someone, even reading about the healing process with regard to what you're working on, so that you can gain insight about what it is that you've been avoiding even, or looking at success stories by other individuals who have had to go through this particular healing process that you're facing this week, and find out how they've accomplished getting through the difficult process of healing, particularly if it's relational. And obviously this stands true if this is psychological or spiritual or even physical, okay? You're going to want to face something here before it gets out of hand or takes on a life of its own. And then, by the time that happens, then it becomes a crisis of sorts. And, the healing concept will be out of your hands at that point. So, as much as the power is in your hands, right? Manifestation and intention is in your hands here. I think, the opportunity exists for you to make something beautiful out of something that was, falling apart here. Here with the fox is camouflage. Well, of course, this is part of it too, right? It's difficult to face things, particularly things that we need to spend time on. Here's another element of why you could be taking a step back from this, or at least putting something off that does need healing or reconciliation, and creating a lot of whirlwind for yourself. Here with fox and camouflage, making it, again, like I said earlier, making it appear as though you want the healing process to occur, but not really participating. This is what fox is speaking to here. But again, it could be an issue of time being up. So just recognize this week if this is something that you want, the healing process around this concern for you this week. If it's something that if the door is shut on it, it could be permanently. That's all I'm going to get you to contemplate on. And then if you have trust and faith in yourself that it is important enough to move forward with toward the healing process, begin now. You don't have to fix it all this week. You don't have to solve it all this week. But you could begin now, and that beginning creates ripple effects. And of course, the other individual will see this. Actions speak louder than words, and I think it will benefit the healing process entirely. So that is your reading for the week. If you have a second, please comment below. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel, because I upload videos for your sign every single week. So until we meet next time, Gemini, take excellent care of yourself. Bye for now.